Before you can build the left-hand surface, you first need to build this projected sketch, which will represent its upper edge. The projected sketch, when viewed from this direction, is just simply a copy of the front layout sketch. And when viewed from the top, is a new curve drawn in by hand. But one of the things that you have to do that's important is make sure that you include in this curve this short little section of edge that is part of the front surface. Here's what that sketch looks like, where this is a new spline drawn in that includes this little copied piece of this edge here. In addition to this point in this spline has to have a coincident relationship to this corresponding point in the right-hand layout. We also want to have an equal curvature between the spline and this little piece that we copied from this edge. Here, with the surface filled in, we can see how this edge corresponds to this point that was located in our right-hand layout sketch. Here's another view from the right-hand side. To build the top cap area, which will be a fill surface, we'll first extrude two temporary surfaces. And add a sketch copied from the top layout and a new sketch drawn on an angled plane controlled by the front layout. The fill surface consists of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 edges. This edge just being the top edge that was already in place from this surface and this surface. The temporary surfaces are then deleted. To build the right-hand surface, we need to add a tilted plane, which is controlled by this line in the front layout. On this tilted plane, we need to draw a new sketch, which represents a cross-section of the right surface and the undersurface of the handle where they join together. Make sure that the direction of curvature of this sketch is more or less vertical where it attaches to this point, so that the direction of this surface is similar to the direction of this surface, making it easier to later on add a fillet along this edge. Go slightly less than vertical and tilt it inboard slightly. This edge and this edge are copied from layouts, and then we simply fill this in as a boundary surface with normal to profile set here. The handle surface is another boundary surface, but before it can be constructed, another projected curve needs to be built along this edge. We might be tempted to make this projected curve by copying this curve from the front layout sketch and then drawing a curve from the top. The problem is the handle curves underneath itself, so a top layout sketch would actually loop backwards on itself, which will likely cause a projected sketch to fail. For this reason, what we will do is draw a sketch from the front view, and instead of using a top view sketch, we'll draw a sketch from the right-hand view, which is a much simpler shape, and we'll project those two sketches together. Here's what the right-hand sketch looks like. A simple spline going almost vertical in this area here, and at the top it has a tangent relation to this arc here. That way, when we project our sketches together, this will end up being one smooth arc. Before you can make this boundary, you also need to add a tilted plane so that this arc or profile can be built, which will define the shape of the handle in this area.